Arthritis Pain Relief Cream. It's real medicine that has no odor, and it works. And listen to this. Australian Dream has an empty jar guarantee. You use the whole jar, you're not happy, you get your money back. But I doubt you'll send it back. This stuff really works. Get guaranteed arthritis relief. Find Australian Dream in a little red box at Walmart or wherever you shop.
Want to know who's going to make Cleveland rock? It ain't Hendrix or Clapton. It's this guy.
We're going to win. Oh, are we going to win?
The most unexpected candidate of 2016 comes to the Republican convention.
There's something happening. There's a movement going on.
One of the most anticipated political events of all time is here. And it's coming to CNN for one huge week with access you can't get anywhere else.
We start with breaking news.
The Republican National Convention. Coverage starts today, 4 Eastern on CNN.
Nope, we said sonograms, golden grams, Jimmy Graham, pajamagrams. Yeah, well, you got to really look hard to find us on Jimmy Graham. And then, what's the name of that guy? He's a sports. Oh man, it's ruining it. Hey, as a side note, why don't you Skype in to the studio, and we'll try that to see if we can clean up your audio. In the meantime, yes, it is. So in the meantime, if you go to townhall.com, Dinesh D'Souza, who's going to be joining us in just a little bit, wrote an article that he put out today called 7 Things the Left Doesn't Want You to Know About Their History. Now, obviously, here we have former President Bill Clinton talking right now at the Democratic National Convention. Dinesh D'Souza's movie Hillary's America: The Secret History of the Democratic Party just does an absolutely wonderful job on laying out that secret history. But there's 7 things, and I just kind of want to go through these things over the next couple of segments. First of all, the founder of the Democratic Party was a racist land stealer. Now here we have Jackson Square. We live in a city that is known for Jackson Square. And there's a famous statue of a guy on a horse. And he's kind of taking his hat off. And that, you may have to type in Chris. Oh, that's him. Okay. That statue, Louisiana, and especially the New Orleans area, after the Charleston, South Carolina shooting and the stuff that Nikki Haley did with the Confederate stuff, Mayor Mitch Landrieu then made a move to take down some Civil War monuments like Lee Circle, took down or trying to take down P.T. Beauregard. There was a slave uprising, in which case there were a bunch of people, both people who were in support of slavery, as well as many of the actual slaves themselves in the uprising who died. So there was a monument to all of the death that took place in that uprising here at the Port of New Orleans. And I forget the fourth statue, but it's basically four rather important ones. But in the talk of all of that, what I found interesting, and I think you're back with us now, right, Chris? Okay, you sound good. I think the thing that's interesting is Dinesh D'Souza's first of his 7 things the left doesn't want you to know about their history is that Andrew Jackson, you don't hear anybody in New Orleans fussing to take down Andrew Jackson's statue. Now, Andrew Jackson didn't really go around the law. He actually made some really important law. He was kind of a law unto himself. And the reason I say that is because he actually had the troops and the guns to make the Indians do his bidding. When you hear the story in the historical account when our kids are in school or when you were in school about the Cherokee Trail of Tears, this was under the Andrew Jackson administration. He wasn't getting the Indians off their land simply because he wanted to help poor white people have their own land. He was stealing land from Native Americans so that he could then turn around and sell the land really, really cheap to poor white people and ultimately curry a lot of votes for his party, the Democratic Party. He was willing to make land available to them, knowing that this would make them lifelong supporters. Now, this is a pattern that you're going to see for a long time to come. That pattern of making, giving things away to curry favor with people and ultimately to get votes. Jackson had something that poor whites wanted, namely land. And they had something that he wanted, their political support. I won't tell you what Dinesh shows about Andrew Jackson in the movie because I don't want to give it away. But it's not all too unfamiliar from the president who is speaking right now, which is, to me, a unique kind of circle of completion, if you will. That this president, B.J. Clinton, is not too much different than how Democratic presidents of the past, including the very first Democratic president, treated women, especially women that they were in power over, rather. Number 2, Chris, you know this one, and you can probably, we got about a minute and a half, and I think it's kind of an easy one. It's probably of the 7 the most well known. The Democrats are the party of slavery. Touch on that for just a second. Why are the Democrats the party of slavery? One minute. That's right. No, you're absolutely right. In fact, that takes us into number 3, and that the Democrats founded the KKK. So we'll get into some of that history, plus a whole lot more coming up on the Battlefield Live. Dinesh D'Souza, the creator of Hillary's America, the secret history of the Democrat Party. Chris and Trey, Battlefield Live, WGSO 990 AM. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to ingodwetrust.com and get your hope today.
Join us at Playmakers Indoor South every summer and holiday for our multi-sport camps. $25 a day, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with before care from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and after care from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. available for $5. Soccer, flag football, basketball, wiffle ball, relay games, lacrosse, and much, much more. Plenty of spots available. Contact Playmakers Indoor Sports, 6124 Jefferson Highway in Harahan, or call 504-305-6078 or sign up today at playmakersindoor.com.
Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean,
like
this is totally fascinating.
Gyroscope.
Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
I move that all votes cast by delegates be reflected in the official record.
After Hillary Rodham Clinton gets the votes she needs to secure the presidential nomination at the Democratic National Convention, it's her rival Bernie Sanders who makes the motion that the nod be made by acclamation.
And I move that Hillary Clinton be selected as the nominee of the Democratic Party.
But a fair number of Bernie Sanders' own delegates then storm out of the convention, as we hear from USA Radio senior correspondent Jason Wirt, who's there.
Many of them wearing pieces of tape over their mouth to say no voice. Hundreds of people, they just stormed into the press center. They are sitting on the floor in a peaceful protest.
Republican nominee Donald Trump says he was watching, and he tells Fox of Sanders,
He would have been better off playing it out. He's exhausted. He wants to go home and go to bed.
This is USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Joan London. When I needed to find senior care for my mom, I really struggled to find the right fit until I found an advisor, someone who had been through this before. That's why I recommend A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. They have experts who will help you ask the right questions and find the right place. Call A Place for Mom today.
To speak with the local senior living advisor, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-7591. That's 1-800-469-7591.
A Place for Mom has helped over 200,000 families find the right senior care for their parents, from assisted living to independent living, even Alzheimer's care, and have local advisors that can help explain your options at no cost to you.
To speak with the local senior living advisor, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-7591. That's 1-800-469-7591.
Call today.
This is Jeff Crouer with my commentary of the day. So the WikiLeaks expose of DNC emails shows that Hillary Clinton was the choice of the party leaders. They did everything possible to thwart Bernie Sanders. They were biased against him, they ridiculed him, made disparaging comments, and rigged it so Hillary would win. So what are Bernie Sanders supporters going to do now? They certainly should not vote for Hillary Clinton. If they want action on jobs and trade, they want to get rid of this government run by elites and Wall Street. If they want a champion of the people, an outsider who's not tied to the establishment, the only person they can look to is Donald Trump. Hillary is a creature of the establishment, and she represents everything that they fought against. Of course, Hillary is saying anything now she can to appease the Bernie supporters, but why should they believe her? She has been and she'll always be a liar. More info on this and the other hot topics of the day, check out Ringside Politics Netflix.com.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to ingodwetrust.com and get your hope today.
Man, you sound so good now. Man, you. Wait a minute. I'm not sure. I'm not. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Well, let's finish up number 2 real quick. You were kind of touching on number 2. You got into I was going to say to Donald Lincoln, to Abraham Lincoln, but really the push by the Democrats even before Lincoln, one of the things that, and I'll mention this to Dinesh when he comes on in just a few minutes. One of the things that he does really well is his movie Hillary's America changed my perspective on the Civil War. From his movie, I will no longer view the Civil War as a war between geographies, between the North and the South. I will view the Civil War through the lens of the pro-slavery Democrats versus the anti-slavery Republicans, because that's really what it broke on. And there were even pro-slavery Democrats of the North, according to the history that Dinesh laid out in his movie. There were pro-slavery Democrats in the North who were like Southern sympathizers because they were acting on the party line. So, in the South, they invented – go ahead. Oh, I thought you were saying something. The South, the Democratic Party invented this idea of a positive good, which was like this school of argument where slavery was not only good for the master but also for the slave. And you have people like John C. Calhoun, who was actually the vice president for Andrew Jackson. But it went much further because the Supreme Court ultimately forged a majority on the notorious Dred Scott decision that actually held up slavery, or upheld slavery, rather, and insisted that blacks have no rights with that of a white man that he needs to respect. So from Jackson to Polk to Buchanan, these people protected, the institution of slavery. And like you said, they founded the KKK. Now, you said it wasn't necessarily or directly in relation to what Lincoln did, but it kind of was, because it was founded in 1866. And you've got Nathan Bedford Forrest. He later serves as a Democrat delegate in the party's 1868 National Convention. And although his role in the Klan is controversial and later disputed that he was ever involved, he was kind of put out there. And it was the Klan that basically unleashed the kind of violence that we would associate with groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. They were basically terrorists against Northern Republicans, accused of being carpetbaggers or scallywags, white N-words. And, think about this, Chris. 4,000, give or take, 4,000 people in the history of America were lynched. 3,000 of them were African or were American blacks, and another 1,000 were whites. You know. Now you said number 5. Talk about why why 5 sticks out to you. Correct. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was his cousin. Right. Right. Now take a step back for a second, Chris. The original title of Darwin's work on the origin of species by means of natural selection or the preservation of favored races in the struggle for life, and then Galton's work on eugenics, his definition was that eugenics is the self-direction of human evolution. And like a tree, eugenics draws its materials from many sources and organizes them into a harmonious entity. So it was like you had Darwin coming out with evolution, and then you had Galton coming out with self-directed human evolution. Absolutely. And I mean, first of all, evolution wasn't trying to explain, from goo to the zoo. I mean, from goo to you by way to the zoo. It was trying to explain why blacks hadn't evolved further from their ape ancestors and why whites had. And right when Darwin's theory comes out at this very same time that Republicans are trying to get rid of slavery, and they needed an argument, meaning the Democrats. They needed some way to explain, and Darwin's theory of evolution, for them, explained that these were less than full human. These things were subhuman. They were kind of animal-like. Let's hold that thought for a second, Chris. We'll hit the other 2 or 3, and we're going to go to the phone lines. We'll go to Joseph in Metairie. Joseph, welcome to the program.
Hey, I think it was Herbert Spencer, a contemporary of Darwin, that coined the phrase survival of the fittest. I don't think Charles Darwin ever said that. In fairness to Charles Darwin, he never really said survival of the fittest.
Well, I don't think any of us even mentioned survival of the fittest. We were talking about the origin of species, Darwin's work.
But, the idea of the survival of the fittest, dog eat dog. Herbert Spencer was an English scientist, I believe, natural philosopher, but I'm pretty sure he coined the term survival of the fittest.
You are correct. That would be Herbert Spencer. You're correct.
Okay, I'm right on that. I know a little bit about history.
No, that's great. Are you for Darwinian evolution, or are you against it, or what's your position on it?
Well, the truth of the matter is, as far as evolution and all that stuff goes, what holds human development back more than anything else, and I don't want to sound like I'm a closet socialist or communist like Bernie Sanders, but it's the class division of society. It also holds the entire human race back, regardless of what race you are. If, for right now, for instance, I believe I heard Coach DeRitter a couple weeks ago or last week. You have a program on that, don't you? A soccer show?
Yeah, it may be.
And I heard him say something that I have to agree with. The top 1% of all the people that belong to the ruling class in every country on the face of the earth pretty much control and or own 99% of the wealth. Now, on using that power to advance the cause of the development of the human race, or are they just using it to play games in terms of power and pleasure and, accumulating more wealth? And so I always liken this, I hate to say this, I liken this to the reason why I believe that government, not just our government, all the governments all over the world, the reason why they keep this thing quiet about UFOs and stuff like that, if they're in contact with societies from other worlds, one of the things that they have discovered, our military, our people, is that, in the past we've had movies that someone from a spaceship says, "Take me to your leader." The truth of the matter is they don't have class divisions in their society.
That's right. You're absolutely right, Joseph, and I appreciate your phone call. Star Trek is a good example of that. Star Trek, that I've seen that documentary. It's where the people, they don't have any money and they don't need to buy anything. Klingons, Romulans are like Asians and Klingons are clearly like from Africa, right? Well, I'm just trying to say that in space and in Star Trek under the Federation, when the Federation rules are set up and we're all run and governed by the intergalactic, conveyances of the year 2525, we won't have racism, we won't have need for money, and we'll be going places where no man has truly gone before, which is where we're going to go when we come back. When we come back on the Battlefield Live on WGSO 990 AM. Stick around. Dinesh D'Souza coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Playmakers Indoor Sports is a state-of-the-art indoor turf facility offering leagues, drop-in play, field rental, parties, camps, clinics, and a whole bunch more. Play includes adult and youth in soccer, lacrosse, flag football, and more. For more information, go to www.playmakersindoor.com. Like us on Facebook at Playmakers Indoors South. 6124 Jefferson Highway, Harahan, Louisiana, 504-305-6078.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com.
Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean,
like
this is totally
gyroscope.
fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, every day men and women across this beautiful country are seeing something they never thought possible. They're seeing bags and puffiness under their eyes. Just go away. Disappear. That's right. Like you, Kathy from Dearborn, Michigan, probably thought nothing would work for her. Then she tried Genucel, and she wrote the following. Genucel is a great product. I don't have bags, but I had an odd puff under one eye. It is now totally gone, thanks to the Genucel. At first, it would come and go. After 2 weeks, it did not return. I am very happy. No, it's not just Kathy. I use Genucel. Genucell. You too can get rid of these bags and puffiness, and with the Genucell immediate effects, you'll lose years off your appearance in just 12 hours. Genucell will work for you or your money back. That's guaranteed. Call 800-SKIN-891. 800-SKIN-891. But it gets better. Order now, and Chamonix will include the Platinum Dark Circle treatment absolutely free. Order now, and priority shipping is also free. You don't wait. Call 800-SKIN-891. That's 800-SKIN-891. 800-SKIN-891.
Oh, we were? I thought we were talking about alien contact with the 1%. Okay, I'll keep moving. Right? Right? Correct. Yeah, correct. Right? Correct. Correct. Right? Right. Yeah. And it's like we've and look, and if you think about go back to the interview with Stephen Broden the other night, and he laid out 5 things, and 2 of those things, were was currently genetic and genetic modification and DNA manipulation. So we see science right now trying to make and build faster, stronger, better human beings because we can. They're able to use the technique CRISPR. They're able to do things that we've never been able to do, including make changes to the human genome and all in the name of bettering humanity and human beings. The problem with it is I would go into the classroom and I would ask, when I was substitute teaching for that year in New Orleans, I would ask the kids, what came first, racism or slavery? And most all the kids always said racism. Slavery has been a condition, a human condition, since one group of people were able to dominate another group of people on planet Earth. It really, the United States in the 240 years of America's existence, and probably, only punctuated by the last 160 years that we got rid of slavery through our Constitution. Unfortunately, it had a lot of bloodshed, but we're the exception to the rule throughout humanity. In fact, you can look at slavery numbers today. There are more people in the world enslaved today in 2016 than at any other time in history combined. So humanity is not, as progressives like to say, humanity is not getting better. But I would ask the kids, what came first, racism or slavery? And Thomas Sowell does an incredible amount of research on this particular topic. The chattel slavery or the transatlantic slavery really was the first time in human history that the enslavers looked dramatically different than the slaves. And the fact that we brought them over we being the people living in North America, brought them over. When there was talk of abolishing this institution, you had to then try to find an argument to hang on to this subservitude, if you will, of a group of people. And the best way to do it was to make racist arguments. And it just so happened that we entered a very, very dark time in our history. We write about it. But the 19th century was a dark time for philosophy and ideology and the kind of thoughts that came out. There was a lot of darkness coming against Christianity. You got Darwin stuff. You've got Galton stuff. You've got Karl Marx, and you've got, the creation of communism. I mean, most of the ideas that have come out of the 19th century have led to millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of people dead just upon ideas. So people call us, Chris, and they tell us, well, that's just an idea, whatever, or those are ideas. We discuss ideas and we tackle ideas, and there's no idea that's sacred. And bad ideas ought to be exposed for just that, for being bad ideas. When we talk about Islam, we're not talking about Muslim people. We're talking about the bad idea. Somebody even call it the mother of bad ideas in terms of Islam. Yeah. Darkness. Yeah, there we go. Take a sip. Take a sip. Yeah. Yeah, that's another one. Right. Right. Correct. And the trying to explain the spiritual, like the soul and the spirit of man, in a completely materialistic way of trying to understand, that must be brain stuff. That's absolutely right. 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 No, that's absolutely the case. No, but listen, I did research. I was a research assistant for someone who was pursuing a doctoral he was working on his doctoral thesis in psychology, and so I was a research assistant. So I did everything from the history of psychology, and like every so many years, every couple of decades, whatever was held up as the orthodox, if you will, thought in psychology, it was decades later thrown out, and there was this whole new idea that came up and was held up as, the way to do it. So psychology was definitely one of those things, and you're absolutely correct to bring it up, that this is a tool that progressives try to use because the fundamental tenet of progressivism is there is no God. Man is the ultimate highest thing because of the materialism, and it's just you just got to have the right environment, and you can bring a utopia, a heaven to earth. So, well, Chris, so that's bottom of the hour music. We're going to go ahead and take our break. When we come back, Dinesh D'Souza will be joining us live. So stick around for that. Hour 2 of the Battlefield Live coming up next on WGSO 990 AM. Trey and Chris, don't go anywhere.
Retriever Sundance. She's a lot more playful now. She has more pep and energy.
Tons of energy. Happy the rescue dog is happy the healthy dog.
Petey is having fun again. He's got a shiny coat and a good healthy weight.
Molly's been having 4 scoops a day. She pushes her little bowl all the way across the room, emptying every last single crumb. She has slimmed down and gotten this puppy look.
She's got life. She's got energy.
We get asked all the time when we're at shows, how do you get your dog so healthy and shiny and glossy?
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition. Just feed your dog right.
Do the Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
This advertisement does not constitute an offer to sell a franchise. The offer of a franchise can only be made through the delivery of a franchise disclosure document. Fresh Healthy Vending is a new company that is revolutionizing the vending machine business by filling them with healthy and natural foods. That's right. Protein and energy drinks, teas and juices, yogurts, fresh fruits and veggies, soy milk, natural cereals, granola bars. Can you imagine that? It's like having a whole food store in a machine. And you can get in on the ground floor by getting your own Fresh Healthy Vending franchise. You can have your own small business placing healthy food vending machines all over your area in places like schools and hospitals and businesses and airports and other high-traffic areas. Locations that embrace the idea because, you know, they make money too. Full training and support and assistance in acquiring locations. It's all about timing, folks. Pick up the phone, make the call to Fresh Healthy Vending, and get all the details on what could be your big life moment. Get Fresh Healthy Vending franchise information now. Call 800-424-8282. 424-8282. That's 800-424-8282.
Catch the Three Tailgater Show with Ken Trahan, Ed Daniels, and Rick Daly Saturday mornings from 10 to noon on WGSO 990 AM, New Orleans.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
And I move that Hillary Clinton be selected as the nominee of the Democratic Party.
At the Democratic National Convention, Bernie Sanders urges his supporters to throw their backing behind Hillary Clinton as she officially becomes the first woman in U.S. history to win a major political party presidential nomination. But many Bernie Sanders delegates are not going quietly, as we hear from USA's Jason Wirt, who's at the convention.
It wasn't getting coverage on major television networks, but hundreds of Bernie Sanders delegates walked out of the Democratic National Convention the moment Hillary Clinton was nominated for president. One California delegate said the results in California showed massive voter fraud.
How about the million uncounted ballots in California, or the fact that it took 6 weeks to validate them and the numbers were reported the night of, when we all knew ballots that were left were Bernie ballots?
At the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, I'm Jason Wirt.
And this is USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Joan London. When I needed to find senior care for my mom, I really struggled to find the right fit until I found an advisor, someone who had been through this before. That's why I recommend A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. They have experts who will help you ask the right questions and find the right place. Call A Place for Mom today.
To speak with the local senior living advisor, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-7591. That's 1-800-469-7591.
A Place for Mom has helped over 200,000 families find the right senior care for their parents, from assisted living to independent living, even Alzheimer's care, and have local advisors that can help explain your options at no cost to you.
To speak with the local senior living advisor, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-7591. That's 1-800-469-7591.
Call today.
As Democrats...
This advertisement does not constitute an offer to sell a franchise. The offer of a franchise can only be made through the delivery of a franchise disclosure document. Fresh Healthy Vending is a new company that is revolutionizing the vending machine business by filling them with healthy and natural foods. That's right. Protein and energy drinks, teas and juices, yogurts, fresh fruits and veggies, soy milk, natural cereals, granola bars. Can you imagine that? It's like having a whole food store in a machine. And you can get in on the ground floor by getting your own Fresh Healthy Vending franchise. You can have your own small business placing healthy food vending machines all over your area in places like schools and hospitals and businesses and airports and other high-traffic areas. Locations that embrace the idea because, you know, they make money too. Full training and support and assistance in acquiring locations. It's all about timing, folks. Pick up the phone, make the call to Fresh Healthy Vending, and get all the details on what could be your big life moment. Get Fresh Healthy Vending franchise information now. Call 800-424-8282. 424-8282. That's 800-424-8282.
Did you know there's an approved healthcare choice just for Christians that's founded on the timeless principles in God's Word? It's not insurance. It's MediShare. Over 189,000 believers across America who love God and share each other's healthcare bills. It's about half the cost of health insurance, and you never pay for medical practices that go against your Christian beliefs. Best of all, the healthcare law includes a special provision for MediShare members, so you don't have to buy insurance or face penalties. MediShare is affordable health care without compromise.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your health care. For your free information guide, call 844-43-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. MediShare, affordable biblical health care. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE.
Have you heard about AMAC? AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. They're the leading conservative organization in the nation for folks 50 and up. AMAC is a patriotic membership organization dedicated to defending the values that have made America great. Things like smaller government, fiscal responsibility, individual freedom, and family values. But that's not all. An AMAC membership gives you access to exceptional benefits like Medicare supplements and Advantage plans, special low rates on car insurance, roadside assistance, and discounts on hotels, car rentals, and major theme parks, and much more. AMAC reveres the Constitution, and unlike other senior organizations, AMAC lobbied Congress against Obamacare, not for it. People, take it from me and stand with well over 1 million other patriots by joining AMAC today. It's easy. Just visit AMAC's website at www.amac.us. That's www.amac.us. www.amac.us. Join AMAC today and tell them Michael Savage sent you.
We're here to fix the machine.
Battlefield Live.
Yes. Not at the DNC. Well, tonight was the big deal. Tonight was, your boy, the former rapist in chief. Yeah. Well, right now, as we speak, it looks like Alicia Keys is grunting all over the keyboard. I don't have the audio up here in the studio. And it might not be Alicia Keys, actually. Is that Alicia Keys? I can't tell. Yeah, that's Alicia Keys. Yeah, that's definitely Alicia Keys. So she's doing her thing. I hate that the Democrats have so many. Well, no, I mean, that part kind of keeps us in business. But, I mean, I hate that all the famous people in society give these curmudgeons credibility by their presence. You know, the Republicans had Scott Baio. Right? They got like Scott Baio. We got dementia-ridden Clint Eastwood. We got, what's Angelina Jolie's father's name? You know, John Voight, right? You got John Voight. We got Ted Nugent. And did I mention Scott Baio? I mean, look, the Democrats, they just rolling out actress and actor and musician, just one right after the other. Right. 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 Yeah, it's like Jesse Lee Peterson said last night. It's perpetual hate, victimhood, and entitlement. Yes. And storytelling. Ism? Terrorism? Okay. You mean like when the end is coming, is like they believe the end is nearing? Okay. Opposable thumb. Right. Yeah, we understand our mortality. Right. Yeah. Or like the latest shortages in Venezuela. If that's not enough to scare you away from socialism, I don't know what is. Because I know you've been keeping up with this, right? Right. Right. Well, too much hunger. I don't want to parse words with you and get all semantical or whatnot, but I mean, greed is its own thing. I mean, to say that it might be an extreme form of self-interest, but I would not put it into the realm of self-interest as much as I would of selfishness. Okay. I think you could, but I think you'd be like on the stage with the Democrats. Well, but the difference between self-interest and selfishness is like your lack of consideration for others. If there's a need for others and you're going to get some food because you're hungry, that doesn't make you selfish. That makes you self-interested. But if you know that there's a bunch of people who are starving and you have a bunch of food and you're hoarding it for yourself and not sharing with others that could maybe keep them alive, well, then that turns it into selfishness because of the disregard or the lack of consideration for others. By the way, we got 45 seconds. Give me a 20-second wrap-up of your thought. Dinesh D'Souza coming up next. Hillary's America and whatever else he's got going on. We're going to talk to him next, so don't go anywhere. On the Battlefield with Chris and Trey on WGSO. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com. Playmakers Indoor Sports offers youth and adult leagues for soccer and flag football, NFL youth flag football, and youth developmental programs. Playmakers TOTS program is a youth development program for children ages 18 months to 7 years. Playmakers TOTS uses sports like soccer, football, baseball, and basketball to help kids work on motor development, learn to work together, follow directions, and improve listening skills while learning that activity is fun. To register for classes, go to our registration page at playmakersindoor.com or call 504-305-6078. Playmakersindoor.com. 6124 Jefferson Highway in Harahan.
Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean,
like
this is totally fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
Do you have faith in our government to protect your savings and retirement? Can a cashless society strip you of all your financial privacy overnight? And what devastating economic changes might occur in Obama's final months, huh? You thought about what he's going to do? With world financial events spinning out of control, a great withdrawal is underway, which could wipe out your hard-earned savings and prohibit access to your own money. There's a free book, The Great Withdrawal, and in it you will discover a simple way to protect your hard-earned money from out-of-control government. Call 1-800-289-2646, 1-800-289-2646 to get your free copy. Time is running out. Withdraw from the system now and take control of your own financial future. I want you to call 1-800-289-2646. That's 1-800-289-2646. Get and read The Great Withdrawal today. Free, free, free. by calling 1-800-289-2646 or visit greatwithdrawal.com. Do you have faith in our government to protect your savings and retirement? Can a cashless society strip you of all your financial privacy overnight? And what devastating economic changes might occur in Obama's final months, huh? You thought about what he's going to do? With world financial events spinning out of control, a great withdrawal is underway, which could wipe out your hard-earned savings and prohibit access to your own money. There's a free book, The Great Withdrawal, and in it you will discover a simple way to protect your hard-earned money from out-of-control government. Call 1-800-289-2646. 1-800-289-2646 to get your free copy. Time is running out. Withdraw from the system now and take control of your own financial future. I want you to call 1-800-289-2646. That's 1-800-289-2646. Get and read The Great Withdrawal today. Free by calling 1-800-289-2646 or visit greatwithdrawal.com.
Hey, I'm great, thank you. Good to be on the show. Most of my career I've been a book writer and speaker, and then only recently in the last 4 years I started making political documentary films, and so I've now made 3, and the latest, of course, is Hillary's America, which is in the theaters now. Was Barack Obama. And I found that absolutely fascinating because it gives perspective on I guess you could say socialism in the world. And now you come out with this new movie, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party. And you have taken a monumental stand of showing, unveiling the real true nature of the Democratic Party. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Sure. I must say that this book, Hillary's America, and the movie, very big learning experience for me because although I've considered myself a scholar, very knowledgeable about American politics, a lot of the stuff in the book and the movie I didn't know until I dug into it. I'm a creature of the Reagan Revolution of the 1980s, and Reagan used to say, I didn't leave the Democratic Party, it left me. And I often had the idea that the Democrats were actually kind of a very good party, but they may have gone off the rails in the 1960s or maybe during the McGovern campaign. But now as I begin to look into it, I realize that there is a whole sordid strain in the Democratic Party that goes way back and that in fact counters the rhetoric of the Democratic Party. They say that they're the party of the little guy, the ordinary man, of women, of minorities, of immigrants, of blacks. The truth of it is that the Democratic Party historically has been the enemy of the ordinary man. They have been the party that has tormented minorities and African Americans. They are the party that fought women's suffrage tooth and nail, both in the Congress and in the states. This is the party of segregation and Jim Crowe and the Ku Klux Klan. This is the party that was making deals with racists right into the end of the 20th century. So this is a party with a lot of apologizing to do, and yet it never apologizes for what it did. It's always been able to transfer the blame for its actions onto the South or onto America or even onto the Republican Party, which was fighting, sometimes successfully, sometimes unsuccessfully, to stop its nefarious schemes.
We're joined today by Dinesh D'Souza here on the Battlefield Live on WGSO 990 AM. Dinesh, I saw the movie. It is absolutely phenomenal. I want to, without giving a whole lot of the plot away, I want to kind of pinpoint one area of the movie. You took the 1,600 or so people that opposed the 64 Civil Rights Act that were kind of throughout the history, and you put up their individual little blue squares in a kind of a little small clip of the movie, and you kind of broke the mold of the big flip myth that the left always uses, the idea that the racist Democrats who were conservatives, once the Civil Rights Acts came out of the 1960s, they just en masse, like a herd migrating, in the Serengeti, they all just crossed the aisle and became part of the racist Republican Party. But you put those up on the screen, and there were like 14 actual people that converted into Republicans that at one time had been either for segregation, slavery, secession, or against the civil rights. My question to you is this then. How then has that been so successful in what we see today in 90+% of American blacks voting for the same Democrat Party that founded the KKK?
Okay, you're now touching on some very important and interesting material. Now, the big switch, as I show in the movie, is a big lie. This whole idea that the segregationist Democrats all became Republicans, pure nonsense.
Right.
The whole case pretty much rests on one man, Strom Thurmond, and he was not typical. The vast majority of segregationists remained in the Democratic Party. Now, it is true that blacks did switch from voting from Republican to Democrat, but that didn't happen in the 60s. The vast majority of blacks switched in the 1930s, and they did so for reasons that have nothing to do with race. The blacks were in terrible shape in the Great Depression, and largely because they were being persecuted by the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party was the party of segregation and the Ku Klux Klan. But the same party, the Democrats, went to blacks and basically said, we have some New Deal programs to offer you, and we want you to switch over to our side. Now, blacks, I think because their condition was so desperate, and I can't blame them for it, did make this switch. But the switch, as I say, was for economic and not racial reasons. Many blacks reluctantly moved, knowing that they were leaving the party of emancipation and Lincoln and joining the party of segregation and the Ku Klux Klan.
And so, go ahead, Chris.
Well, let's look at Hillary. I mean, basically, what we see with the latest email scandal number 2 is Hillary's collusion in an effort by the Democratic National Committee to rig the election primaries. And this is unbelievable. I mean, this is like having Soviet-style elections right here in America. And Hillary was part of that. The Clintons never play by the rules. They're always cheating. And even when they're dealing with public policy, they're always on the make. They're always figuring out how to get a brokered commission of funds that flows to them or to their foundation, the Clinton Foundation. And the Clinton Foundation itself is a fake philanthropy. Most philanthropies give away money. The Clinton Foundation takes in money, gives away almost nothing to create a kind of war machine for the Clintons. Now, Saul Alinsky you've emphasized the side of him that was a radical, but I emphasize in this book and movie the side of him that was a gangster. Saul Alinsky was a petty thief on the streets of Chicago. Then when he got to the University of Chicago, he figured out rip-off schemes to steal from the university. And then he got in with all these gangs, including the Al Capone gang, where he learned the art of extortion. Now, he admired the way that the mafia guys could extort money from people, but he noticed that they sometimes got knocked off. And so what he liked about applying these lessons to politics is you could practice extortion without getting knocked off. So it's kind of remarkable that this crook, Alinsky, was the mentor not only for Obama, our current president, but he was also the mentor, in fact, a closer mentor for the next aspiring president of the United States, Hillary Clinton.
All right, Dinesh, hang out with us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Dinesh D'Souza, the creator of the new movie, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democrat Party. More with Dinesh and more of the Battlefield Live on WGSO 990 AM. We'll be back after this quick timeout.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to ingodwetrust.com and get your hope today.
Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean,
like
this is totally
gyroscope.
fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
Playmakers Indoor Sports. TOTS program is one of Playmakers' most popular. Our professionally developed curriculum provides our TOTS with a variety of fun games and exercise in a positive, enjoyable, and exciting environment. These great games help your little one develop their motor skills, create confidence, improve their listening skills, and learn how to follow directions, all while promoting fitness and activity. Our TOTS groups range from 18 months to 7 years. Sign up your little tot today or call 504-305-6078. Playmakersindoor.com.
Right now.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
And I move that Hillary Clinton be selected as the nominee of the Democratic Party.
At the Democratic National Convention, Bernie Sanders urges his supporters to throw their backing behind Hillary Clinton as she officially becomes the first woman in U.S. history to win a major political party presidential nomination. But many Bernie Sanders delegates are not going quietly, as we hear from USA's Jason Wirt, who's at the convention.
It wasn't getting coverage on major television networks, but hundreds of Bernie Sanders delegates walked out of the Democratic National Convention the moment Hillary Clinton was nominated for president. One California delegate said the results in California showed massive voter fraud.
How about the million uncounted ballots in California, or the fact that it took 6 weeks to validate them and the numbers were reported the night of, when we all knew ballots that were left were Bernie ballots?
At the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, I'm Jason Wirt.
And this is USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Joan London. When I needed to find senior care for my mom, I really struggled to find the right fit until I found an advisor, someone who had been through this before. That's why I recommend A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. They have experts who will help you ask the right questions and find the right place. Call A Place for Mom today.
To speak with the local senior living advisor, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-7591. That's 1-800-469-7591.
A Place for Mom has helped over 200,000 families find the right senior care for their parents, from assisted living to independent living, even Alzheimer's care, and have local advisors that can help explain your options at no cost to you.
To speak with the local senior living advisor, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-469-7591. That's 1-800-469-7591.
Call to.
I'm Rachel Wolf, a licensed real estate agent in Louisiana. A home is one of the biggest investments you'll make in your lifetime, and with that comes all kinds of decisions, from where to live, renovation and insurance costs, and how to protect your investment in the long run. Join me Fridays at 5 for the Real Estate Rundown with Rachel Wolf. We'll bring in the experts to tell you what you need to know in the ever-changing real estate market. That's Fridays at 5 on WGSO 990 AM.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Millions of people are asking the question, what has happened to America? Is there hope? What will our children and grandchildren face in years to come? America, there is hope. The same hope expressed by the colonists in 1607 when they placed a cross on the Virginia shore, proclaiming, "In God we trust." In God we trust. It's still our hope. It's our future. It's our national motto. Go to ingodwetrust.com and get your hope today.
Yeah, in the movie and the book, I trace the Democrats' long involvement in many of the worst crimes of American history. The Democrats, for example, were diehard defenders of slavery. Now, when slavery ended, the Republicans tried to pass the 13th Amendment, which permanently abolished slavery. The Democrats fought that. The Republicans then passed the 14th Amendment, granting equal rights under the law. 0% of Democrats voted for that. Every single one of them opposed it. And then the Republicans passed the 15th Amendment, giving blacks the right to vote. No Democrat, not one, voted for that either. So this is the actual Democratic Party. And then it was a Democratic delegate to the Democratic Convention, Nathan Bedford Forrest, who started the Ku Klux Klan, a domestic terrorist organization inside the United States. Oddly enough, the Klan went defunct after a few years, but was revived in the early 20th century by the progressive Democratic President Woodrow Wilson. He created a Klan revival, not only in the South, but in the Midwest and the West. And so progressive historians are super embarrassed by all this. They've done their best to sweep it under the rug. Even when they admit the facts, they never tie them to the Democratic Party so that the party can escape responsibility and blame for its historical conduct. It's really a scandalous story, and so I'm delighted to be bringing it out, not only in a crucial election year, but right when we're getting the song and dance routine from the Democrats themselves in Philadelphia.
Dinesh, you cut your teeth, so to speak, on conservatives like William F. Buckley, Ronald Reagan, and some of those pictures. It's amazing. I mean, you still look like a very young guy when I see you on TV or but you really look young in those pictures. Are you at all concerned with the lack of principled conservatism, or what appears to be the lack of principled conservatism in the modern Republican Party? And are you concerned, as a follow-up to that, with progressivism getting into the GOP and doing ultimately to the Democrats what it has done with their party?
Well, I am concerned with a lot of things in the Republican Party. The Republicans have fielded, in general, a terrible slate of candidates. There really hasn't been a really good one since Reagan. And then the party is so encrusted with consultants and people who look at politics as a business, people who kind of make money off of politics and don't have the welfare of the Republican Party at the forefront. It's also remarkable to see the diminution of intellectual stature on the Republican side. When I was a young man, I looked up to people like Solzhenitsyn, Friedrich Hayek, Milton Friedman. You mentioned William F. Buckley, Irving Kristol. There were so many others. And now I look around and I say, where are those people now? Where are their equivalents today? I aspire in my own work to try to be like that, but there aren't even a whole lot of people trying to do that. So, yes, it seems to me that sadly we're living in a little bit of a smaller, a more shrunken world than the world I remember from the Reagan days. But I think that just shows that there's a lot more work to be done.
I've seen you, Dinesh, I've seen you debate the late Christopher Hitchens. I've seen you debate Bill Ayers on a couple of occasions. I've seen you with Bill Maher. And it's really inspiring. I don't know if it's a product of your hard work and effort, your intellect, some God-given ability, but your ability to take some of the more leftist or some of the more opposing worldviews that are in our society, and especially that are within pop culture, and the way that you're able to handle them or dismantle them relatively easy is really inspiring. My question for you is what advice would you give to, say millennials or say a younger generation that desires to be able to intellectually and rhetorically battle the ideas and the ideology and the rhetoric from the left in an effort to preserve our republic? What would you advise them to go about? Maybe something to read, something to obviously go to your movie, Hillary's America. But other than that, what would you suggest to them?
Well, if we look back historically, the Federalist Papers were written by Hamilton and Madison and John Jay, but they were not written in a kind of academic mode. They were written to be published in popular newspapers to make the case for the Constitution.
Right.
And I find that very inspiring because to me it's sort of the idea of taking ideas at the highest level and then communicating them in a way that people can understand. Someone once gave me a very good piece of advice in giving a speech. They said, always consider your audience to be very intelligent, but to know absolutely nothing about your subject. So on the one hand, you have to explain it all, but on the other hand, don't talk down to people. Treat them as if they're really smart and can really grasp stuff. And that has stood me in really good stead in taking ideas. I've been a writer for most of my life. I now take those ideas and put them on the screen. I try to appeal not only to the head but also to the heart. And I've kept that advice in mind, and I think it's been very helpful in making movies that ordinary people can understand and then learn from.
And Dinesh, the question I have for you, Trey and I actually, we did a good bit of research on progressivism, the history of progressivism, which parallels a lot of what you talked about in your book, as well as in the movie. One of the things that I get really concerned with is that the progression has been going on for so long that this is not something that we're going to fix overnight. Progressivism has really set its roots in over 100 years ago and has spread its tentacles throughout our entire American system. And so my question is where are the steps that we have to start taking outside of just educating ourselves with our core conservative groups? How do we reach out to the people that are more closest to the material world, that want to be entertained rather than spoken to intellectually? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we need to keep the intellectual flame alive, but we also need to realize that our culture has shifted. More people, for example, watch videos. A lot of young people get their ideas from political comedy. And so far from disdaining those things, we've actually got to get really good at doing them. Right now, the left has Colbert, they have Bill Maher, they have Jon Stewart. We pretty much have nobody, and nobody. So conservatives are going to lose this political battle if they allow the culture to defect to the other side. So progressivism, it's not invincible. It actually was defeated once. In fact, progressivism was pretty much killed off by World War II. In the 1950s, nobody called themselves progressives. You just had conservatives and you had liberals. And then by the 1980s and 90s, the term liberal fell into disrepute. Hillary Clinton was asked, "Are you a liberal?" And she became extremely defensive, and she goes, no, I'm not a liberal. And then she said, I'm a progressive. So what's happened now is that the liberals of the 90s and the 2000s have gone back to the early term progressive because liberal has now become sort of a word of disgrace. We have to make progressive into a word of disgrace so that term gets buried all over again, and much of the nasty legacy of progressivism with it.
Dinesh D'Souza's newest movie, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party, is out and in movie theaters right now. You absolutely have to get out there and go see it. And as a compliment to the movie, you really ought to pick up his book of the same title, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party. Bring young people. There is valuable history that will be learned just by going to this movie, and it's done in a way that you are not going to soon forget the lessons taught by this particular movie. Dinesh, thank you so much.
Absolutely. The way, guys, may I mention the website for the movie? It's just Hillary'sAmericaTheMovie.com. Hillary'sAmericaTheMovie.com. If you put in your zip code, it'll tell you where the movie is playing near you.
And I know it's opened up this week to over 1,000 theaters across the country, so we're expecting to see some big reviews. Have you gotten any early reviews back, Dinesh? Any word on how it's doing?
The reviews are mostly fantastic. The left is actually going nuts about the film and attacking it. But what's interesting, even though they make all these blustering claims about the film, it's delusional, it's paranoid, it's agitprop, blah, 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 they haven't been able to fault a single fact that's either in the movie or my accompanying book.
And I doubt seriously that they ever will. Job well done. Thank you, Dinesh, for being with us today on the battlefield.
My pleasure.
God bless. That was Dinesh D'Souza. And again, his new movie, Hillary's America, I saw it here locally, and it's playing at all the AMC Palaces around the New Orleans area. Get out there. Go see it. Bring people that don't agree with you. Pay for their movie. Go see this. This is the kind of thing that can really open up a person's eyes and make a change that makes a difference for their generations to come. More of the Battlefield Live with Chris and Trey on WGSO 990 AM and the Lanterns Radio Network. We'll be right back after this quick timeout.
Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com. Join us at Playmakers Indoor South every summer and holiday for our multi-sport camps. $25 a day, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with before care from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and after care from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. available for $5. Soccer, flag football, basketball, wiffle ball, relay games, lacrosse, and much, much more. Plenty of spots available. Contact Playmakers Indoor Sports, 6124 Jefferson Highway in Harahan, or call 504-305-6078 or sign up today at playmakersindoor.com.
filmmaker.com.
Your product works well. I've noticed a tremendous difference because my hair is noticeably thicker and doesn't fall out when I brush it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's one real customer talking about real results he's getting from Provia Natural Hair Therapy. And now Chamonix is introducing the brand new Provia Super Concentrate. This little miracle bottle contains 4 times the power of the natural Provia ingredient for substantially faster and more visible results. I know this stuff works, folks, and the results are amazing. I stand behind Provia revitalizing the hair follicles, blocking DHT, and improving the appearance of healthy hair safely, naturally, and without side effects. You're only one phone call or one click away from stronger, fuller, younger-looking hair. And now when you try Provia, you will get the new Super Concentrate absolutely free with your order. I want you to call 800-543-5830. The new Provia Super Concentrate works or you get your money back, period. For this limited time, risk-free offer, call 800-543-5830. That's 800-543-5830.
What does grace mean to you? For us, it means that in 2 years, Grace at the Greenlight, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, has served over 40,000 meals and distributed 60,000 bottles of water to the homeless in New Orleans. Grace at the Greenlight would like to thank Faubourg Private Wealth for sponsoring This Week and making a difference in New Orleans. Faubourg Private Wealth, holistic planning tailored to your family. Faubourg Private Wealth.
Are you looking for a reasonable and affordable way to enhance your image or your company's image on the internet? Are you looking for ways to leverage internet technology to streamline your business? An upgraded website or web application is the way to go. Vast Virtual Solutions is a technology company that specializes in developing websites that operate on the cutting edge with the ability to save you and your business time and money. Visit vastvirtual.com for a business quote today. vastvirtual.com.
Did you ever think that the presumptive Republican nominee for President of the United States would have similar policy and, suggestions as the Democratic Socialist candidate?
I never thought that a Republican candidate for president would hold both liberal and conservative policies at the same time.
Right.
I mean,
like
this is totally
gyroscope.
fascinating. Visit the website battlefield.buzz for the latest from Chris and Trey from the Battlefield Live radio show.
Playmakers Indoor Sports is a state-of-the-art indoor turf facility offering leagues, drop-in play, field rental, parties, camps, clinics, and a whole bunch more. Play includes adult and youth in soccer, lacrosse, flag football, and more. For more information, go to www.playmakersindoor.com. Like us on Facebook at Playmakers Indoors South. 6124 Jefferson Highway, Harahan, Louisiana, 504-305-6078. Experience Augie's, formerly Augie's Glass Garden, now in Harahan. Augie's, truly a gorgeous place. Where can you go to experience super jumbo soft-shell crabs for only $14.95 and the area's largest seafood platters? Private parties, receptions, reunions, and events of all types can be handled at Augie's. 6005 Jefferson Highway in Harahan. Call for reservations 733-3000. Check us out on the web, augiesnola.com.
Man, that was great, man. I mean, first of all, I only wish I had a voice like Dinesh D'Souza. You know what I'm saying? The phone book. Yeah, it was great. I mean, it really was. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. That's part of the reason that I got into radio, dude. I wanted to talk to really cool people that are doing just amazing things to advance the truth. Some of his debates, dude, with Bill Ayers, dude, he makes Bill Ayers look like a complete. I mean, he is a complete idiot, but I mean, he does it in an intellectually. He destroyed Christopher Hitchens, who at the time was the world's foremost atheist, and just obliterated him, made that guy look like a bumbling idiot. Right. Yeah. Now, listen. No disrespect to Dinesh D'Souza. Okay, but after he wrote his second book, I think it was about like racism, and there not being anything in there not being any real racism in America. There it is. Dude, you realize he dated Ann Coulter and Laura Ingraham? But he when he came out, he kind of became this conservative, intellectual kind of rock star coming out of and now he ended up marrying. Well, he ended up marrying another kind of like blonde bombshell. He wanted to, when he came from Mumbai, he wanted to come and marry like just like an all-American girl. And he married a girl named Dixie Brubaker. Now, with a name, I was gonna say with a name like Dixie Brubaker, I mean, you just kind of get an image of just like this that's an all-American name. Like you're not gonna find a Dixie Brubaker in Senegal. You know, right? Now, yeah, we know we got a little bit of time left, and we like to have fun at these last. I mean, it's been a great show. We've talked about just some phenomenal things. We'll post the article from Town Hall that goes through the other things that the left doesn't want you to know about the Democrat Party. But I picked up on a story, Chris, that made me say, you know what? Maybe Chris is on to something. Maybe I've given you a hard time in the past, but I think you're absolutely right. We need to pay more attention. And I vow to you to be a part of the vigilance that is of the country of Venezuela. Yeah, no, I have definitely turned a corner in our relationship about Venezuela, because whatever they're doing in Venezuela, it is evil. It ain't working. I think that Satan himself may have a residence somewhere in there, because the latest casualty in the Venezuela shortages, and it hurts me to even say this. McDonald's said on Thursday that it has stopped selling Big Macs in Venezuela. The iconic hamburger chain, according to globalpost.com, the iconic hamburger chain says that the latest casualty of severe food shortages triggered by an economic crisis is the Big Mac. Dude, that's horrifying. Venezuela media reports said that McDonald's was no longer able to source the thin slice of bread that separates the sandwich's two meat patties. Now, Chris, you know this is bad, because although they're still serving other items on the menu, bro, it's been 11 for last year. They suspended the sale. My God, man. The sale of French fries for 11 months last year. What? Take a sip there, young Anthony. He mentioned German existentialism. Oh, you did it. Yeah, bro, the opposition. Right. So I thought that was. So anyway, long lines, chronic shortages, hyperinflation, violent crime has President Nicolas Maduro fighting for his political life. But Chris, I think we might even need to invade. We might even need to invade this country and just take them over until they get McDonald's right. Right? It's possible. It's possible. They are good. Now, their waffle fries might just break out the whole country into like revolution or something. You might have a real democratic revolution. Man, you give them people a waffle fry, and they just, I mean, you don't know what is going to happen. Well, bro, this was fun tonight. This is part of the reason that I got into radio, and I know you did too. Thanks again to Dinesh D'Souza. Go check out Hillary's America. It's in the studios now. And we'll be back tomorrow, another day where we expose the darkness and shine the light of truth. We'll see you tomorrow on the Battlefield Live on WGSO 990 AM.
When we ran out, we stopped using it. Why would you stop? Why undo all the good that's been accomplished? We thought everything was fine, and that was not a good thing. No. He started stinking. It was awful.
Shedding comes back, lots of dandruff. Scratching will return. His shedding will increase.
If I ever took Roy off of Dinovite,
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
When I get down to the bottom of my box of Dinovite.
when I get to about 3/4.
Oh, no. I've got a couple more scoops.